Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Heartland Live Training Studio with a special podcast with our supply chain partners in Dexter. I'm really excited because, as we've said, since we've started the Launching Life's Journeys podcast, we want to bring you guys more communication, more information, more tips and tricks about the RV lifestyle, and more importantly, we wanted to lead the industry in reciprocity by giving some love back to our amazing supplying partners like Dexter. Because everybody knows the internet's exposed the industry as well. We are not really considered true manufacturers. We do manufacture some of the componentry, but the majority of all of our finished products is at the hands of our amazing supplier partners like Dexter. So we wanted to highlight them, bring more information to those of you that are new to the RV lifestyle, so you have a better connection with all the supplied parts that make up your RV, whether you choose Heartland branded product or any of the amazing RV OEMs that are out there. So with that, I'm proud to have the director, Kary Royer, of sales for his division, as well as Mark Nave, product manager. I joke around with everybody. I say he's the alpha and the omega because he works with their internal sales team as well as their amazing engineers to develop some really amazing products that we're really excited about that we took on in 2023. And we're really excited about the innovation that's going to be continuing. So both of you gentlemen, welcome to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast and taking some time out of your busy schedule to get on here.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate you having us on.
All right. So for everybody listening, as I've said, a lot of people get excited. They save their money. They say, hey, flights are expensive. We want an RV. And then they get one and they go, oh, my lands, these are big. There's a lot of components. We need to get familiar with it. So that's why I'm having you guys here. So for everybody listening and our viewers, if you would, Kary, just give a history of Dexter, where you guys began and all the products that you guys offer.
Sure, no problem. So, Dexter started as, a family operation back in 1960, and since then has really grown to be really the largest axle manufacturer in the world. So, you kind of go full circle. There's a number of, road maps and milestones along the way, and I won't go through them all, but it's really just a testament of, we started in the it's kind of, we started in the RV market and the manufactured housing space, making axles for those, back in the 60s. And, today we're making for essentially almost anything that you can imagine that's being towed on the road today. So we're a little bit unique. Even though we're not family owned any longer, Adam Dexter, he's our president and CEO, and so he's the third generation. So his grandfather started the company. So although it's a bigger company, it still operates like family. So it's kind of unique that way. Number of products that we've, as I mentioned, we started out in the RV and manufactured housing space. Manufactured housing was really big back in the 80s and 70s and 80s. Was our largest, our biggest product offering, if you would. It's now our smallest. So it's just testament of how we've been able to maneuver and change along with the times as far as, as the markets have changed, we've changed along with it and actually developed those. You mentioned, how large, these huge RVs are and that sort of thing. And that's also been kind of something that's changed. Tow vehicles have changed, RVs have changed. They've gotten much larger. So has our consumers have changed. Their expectations have changed. So the products have to change right along with that.
Yeah, and I think you guys have done an amazing job in the 2.5 years that I've been in the industry. I tell everybody my prior history, I was out of Tokyo, Japan. We did high-speed automation and advanced robotics. And the one thing that really blows me away is when you look at our supplying partners, which ones are getting the closest to the customer. I always talk about the VOC. And you can't go to a show without seeing you, Kary, or you, Mark. You guys are always engaged with the customers. I hear a lot of testament to your guys' efforts of, hey, just years ago, we were talking about torsion axles and, Dexter had a development and a product release for us in that regard. We've seen the advancement of, as these weights increase, your carrying capacity of your axle. So it's just been really exciting that within a short period of time to hear from so many customers just that they already know you and that they go to you guys for your website and your YouTube, which is already a huge library of information and communication. So I just really applaud you guys for kind of leading in that regard to, provide that information to consumers. Is very evident in your guys' success. Now, I want to spin it a little bit too, as you had mentioned, Kary, and maybe this is more for you, Mark. We have seen a lot of changes with the innovation in RVs specifically themselves. They've gotten bigger. The consumers that are purchasing them, gone are the days of them only having 2 weeks. We're seeing more and more full-time RVers. That brings its own, set of challenges. Not so much when they're parked and set up at a destination, but getting there. So I do want you to just take a little bit of time to talk about that amazing collaboration that you had with Bosch, with the ABS system that not only has the sway mitigation control, but also that odometer tracking. Can you kind of just speak to that as a testament to some of the innovation that you've developed through listening to the customers?
Oh, yeah, no, thanks, Will. Yeah, I mean, Tow Assist, is the product that you're describing, and for us, that along with a lot of products that we spend time in listening to customers, it comes back to safety. And being able to provide the driver user experience, with the most comfort, less the least amount of anxiety, and just to get the comfort of knowing you're going to get to where you're going and you're going to get there safely.
Yeah.
With Tow Assist, we're able to we were to combine, like you mentioned, ABS and sway mitigation, which are all I mean, just really features that we all expect and see in our cars today. So for people to be able to really just kind of take that driving experience and transfer it to the trailer makes things so much easier. And we took some time doing it. We found the right partner. We released this product with Bosch, and they've been a great partner in this process, and not only through the test, but obviously just bringing some of that the existing automotive experience to the table. Ourselves, like Kary mentioned, being a very mature, domestically made company, it was an easy and a great, really kind of collaboration between the two of us. And then lastly, we do bring some creature comforts with, being able to sort of track mileage and, being able to acknowledge the driver, diagnostic functions within the product. So, we, like I said, we kind of brought some of those things from your car to your trailer, not to make it more complex, but really just to make things easier to use. It really, in general, we look at, a lot, the products, historically for us, and, we've always been the, a brand that you can trust. And I think, safety products like this, and then even ones that we're probably, trying to work on in the future are, things that really hold true to that statement.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I noticed in being on the road, especially as we're getting ready for open house, and then as you guys know, it's going to get crazy as we go coast to coast in North America with our RV show season. I get a lot of questions about, hey, Will, Dexter has so many products. Why aren't they on this brand? And why are they on this brand? I just want to make the record clear on this podcast for our listeners and viewers. That is not because of Dexter. It really comes down to us, because everything that we do, when you buy anything, I always say the value of something is based on the total amount of accessories or, features that you want in a given price point. And that's really what we will do. We work with our GMs, and you guys always have that full offering for us. But in some cases, we want to be price sensitive. Like the Bighorn Traveler you see behind us, that doesn't have the standard ABS with the sway mitigation. That's for the Bighorn, the bigger brother of this class of series. So a lot of times for all you folks that are shopping, again, whether you choose our brand or every other RV manufacturer that's out there, chances are 9.999 out of 10, it's going to have Dexter somewhere. But that's what you're looking for when you're doing that shopping. So I always suggest to people, start first in the category of itself, a fifth wheel. Now you want to look at that tiered pricing and then see, hey, did Mel Maddox, our VP of purchasing, was he able to negotiate something with Kary that we are now going to have spec'd on that? That's really all that we do as the RV manufacturer. So I want people to know it's not Dexter going, you get this, you get that. You guys offer all your great innovation to everybody. That being said, for some folks that are on a budget, when maybe they want to buy these things, what's the other thing we always hear about? I want to get upgrades, right? They want to upgrade the mattress. They want to upgrade the tires. They want to upgrade the commode. They also sometimes want to upgrade or make improvements to the existing suspension system and get some of your components. So for everybody listening, where can they access your aftermarket portfolio of products?
So you can, I mean, there's a multitude of places. We have some of those, like we actually have on Dexter-Axle.com. We have, you can get some of our Easy Flex, some of those upgrades on available on Amazon. We have a network of Dexter owned distribution facilities
Okay.
around the country, roughly just over 50 locations actually. And so there's to where you can get replacement brakes, you can get replacement parts of all, bearings,
And
brakes, everything, springs. You can get a multitude of parts available there, and those are all linked through our website. We also have an independent network of several hundred distributors and dealers that we work with to where, for the most part, there's nowhere that anyone's at in the lower 48 that's not going to be near one of those locations that couldn't be an overnighted package or a one-day shipment point.
Yeah.
And, and like Kary mentioned, the great access we have to our components, you look at aftermarket, upgrades, Kary mentioned, suspension, with the Easy Flex, but we also have braking upgrades with disc brake systems or even, potentially in the future, tow assist. So, we have options for customers.
Yeah. And then I would say too, when the customers do call Dexter, that is some of the additional support you get. Credit to the marketing team and giving your guys, all of your customers a great buying experience when they go online, find the nearest authorized dealer or distributor to get that information. You guys do a great job of also explaining or sourcing where they have to get it installed, right? Like that ABS system. Is that something that anybody can do, or do you guys suggest per warranty that they get that installed by a registered authorized installer?
It would definitely be recommended it would be an experienced installer.
Okay. So again, if you guys ever have questions or apprehension on getting those upgraded components, again, Dexter is your resource to help get you guys where you need to go to get it installed correctly. I do want to say too, we're seeing, obviously, we're well into it now. Solar's everywhere, the IIoT, the Internet of Things, everything being centralized to accessing on an app on your phone. Where do you guys see, without disclosing some of your R&D stuff, where do you see the advancement as we are today in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you guys see more on the technology side of just the ability in some regards to track and monitor more some of the componentry that you guys manufacture? Or do you see more advancements still in the hardware itself, whether it's a suspension or braking? Where do you guys see the next, I guess, goal within R&D in terms of focus?
No, I guess I can answer that. I would say it's actually both. Really,
Yeah.
It is, everyone's looking for a different experience, and some of that's based on unit type. For some, depending on the age of the user, they might be looking for electronics or some things that connect them better with their trailers, and for us, the other might be suspension or braking related, where there's a need for either growing unit sizes or higher suspension quality. Really, for us, things that connect well with our core products are logical places for us to grow and to provide better value and a better user experience.
Yeah.
I'll take that a step further with Mark on that. Would be I'd say it'd be probably more electronic in the electronic part of it, and I'd say that just really as we look at what Tow Assist is already that platform's providing. We have an app now, so it's, as I think about it, it's we all talk about REC, so it's the repair event cycle time,
Yep.
to where that is, it's an app. So we have the app to where customer they know their odometer, they can know where they're at in their maintenance schedule to what they should be doing, right down to if they do have an issue, they can take it, they can be told on their app. They log into it, it will tell them if there's a functionality problem with the system or with a brake magnet, and it'll tell them, instead of taking it in and dropping it off and saying, I'm having this issue, can you find out what's wrong with it? And the service center then needs to take it apart to find out where the issue is. Whereas now it's a little more like automotive, to where you're dropped it off. That dealer can then get the app and they can look at it and they can tell right where it's at, and they can pinpoint, more closely where there could be an issue with it. So I think that's kind of where it's what consumers want. It's what we're all getting more used to. It's kind of where things go.
Well, and I think that's also in line. Just a couple weeks ago, I interviewed the RVIA. So it's no secret. They put the information out. They expect just this summer alone, which we are in right now, 44 million families plan to get out in RV this year alone. So as you just said, and that's why I applaud you guys and your entire leadership team, because we see firsthand, and really this is what it's about, your commitment to a better ownership experience. And we've taken that responsibility. That's why we're having more transparency. We want to open our doors. We're doing public tours. We're letting people see all the components that we get from you guys that are stored indoors out of the elements prior to installation. We're being very intentional in our processes as well to make a better product, especially post-COVID. And that's why, like I said, everywhere I go, you and your team, you're out everywhere, Kary. What I really appreciate as one of the many manufacturers that you guys work with that I want our listeners and viewers to clearly understand, Mark and his team is always available. You guys are always doing technical training. You're always updating us when you guys make a rev change. And that goes a long ways. We've been hearing from our dealers coast to coast in North America. Wow, the Heartland team seems a lot more dialed into the componentry level of your supply chain. Bravo. This is something that the whole industry should be doing more of. And I just say, you know, it's because of our partnerships with organizations like you guys that are all in to help us in that regard. Right? Because you're dependent on us transferring that information, and that's all it is. The distribution of information that provides more resources to more families when they hit the open road and they choose to invest in an RV. I guess I want to close out in this, and again, I want to give credit to your marketing team. I have copied you guys a little bit just with this podcast alone to have another form of medium that is out on all the social platforms, more accessibility, more information. You guys, as I said in the beginning, not only do you have a very thorough website with all of your information on all of your products, including warranty information, you have an amazing, I think within the RV industry, probably one of the best YouTube channels in terms of information of all of your innovations. And I applaud you guys for that. And I've been able to learn from you guys about just, hey, how detailed do we need to get? And I think as an RV manufacturer, we always like to put gel in our hair, get in the front of the coach, talk about how great the new vinyl stickers are this year or the new interior decor. But as you've been saying, Kary, you guys hear it, we're hearing it. More and more people are spending more than 2 weeks in these coaches. They need more information. So I just, I thank you both for taking some time. I do want to close. If people want more information, whether it's aftermarket or just to learn when they're doing their own shopping for an RV and they hear, hey, they've got torsion axle, or hey, they have, dual 8,000-pound axles, or hey, they've got the disc brakes, or hey, they got the new ABS with sway mitigation control. If they want that information, where do they find you guys on social and your website and your YouTube?
So our website is dexteraxle.com, and then we are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter so it'd be at Dexter_together.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you guys this isn't the first or last time you're going to see both of these gentlemen. We're getting ready for open house. They are going to be busy. I call it the calm before the storm, so to speak. We're getting ready for RV show season. Find Dexter, get connected with them. As they just said in their underscore, they're all about being together and with you guys every mile of your journey. Mark, Kary, thank you guys so much for being a guest on the Launching Life Streams podcast. Want to have you guys back when there's yet more innovation coming from your R&D and it's public.
All right. Thanks for having us, Will.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Will.
I'm Will Miller, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast brought to you by Heartland RVs. Stay tuned for our next destination.